Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting our first panel discussion on who gets the money from VCs. Let me introduce the experts on the stage. From your right to your left, Alexander Karchevsky, partner at I2BF.
Hi guys.
This is where you applause. Yes, thank you. 300 million on the stage. Please applause. Yes. Kirill Belov, partner at Impulse VC. Petr Lukianov, partner at Terra VC. And Dmitry Pozdnyshev, who will moderate the discussion, director of CIS Innovation, leader, digital and innovation coordinator for CESA region at EY. Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1, and now a big round of applause. Please welcome the experts.
Hello, everybody. Just a quick correction for those who are interested in my personality. My surname is Pozdnyshev. I'm not a VC. I don't have pretty much money, but nevertheless. Okay, so first of all, thank you all for coming. I hope the audience will get this soon, and thank you, dear participants, to be here. Just a few words, maybe.
And it's good to see a lot of interest to our panel today.
Yeah. Just tells pretty much about who we are in the community. So just a few words about your fund's focus, and maybe just about your role in the funds, just to give an audience update who you are and what you like about starting from. Petr.
Can you hear me? Hi everyone, my name is Petr Lukianov. I'm the co-founder and managing partner at Terra VC and also at Gotech Ventures. We're an early stage venture capital firm with focus on hardware and deep tech software startups. We have $70 million under management. Right now about 19 portfolio companies, 50-50 Russian and outside of Russia, mainly US. We're doing quite well, so this summer we did like 3 exits, and it made our previous funds into the profitable area. So right now we're investing out of 40 million fund. We have 12 companies there, 4 software, 8 hardware, and plan to do 8 to 10 deals in the next 2-3 years. Yeah, thank you.
Kirill?
Okay, we are Impulse VC. We are a 6-year Moscow-based fund. We have 65 million under management, more than 55 companies in portfolio. We invest also in early stage companies, mostly in late seed, round A stages. Nothing special. We like B2B SaaS, advertising, marketing technologies. I don't know, some kind of prop tech. Things that are happening right now is also interesting for us, and we have maybe 30% of our portfolio in Russia, and other 70% is all around the world, mostly in US and European Union.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex. I'm partner at I2BF. I2BF is a New York-based international VC fund. We have around 55 portfolio companies nowadays, and mostly invest at seed stage in 4 things. One is vertical SaaS, the second is hardware-enabled enterprise solutions, the third is digital health, and fourth is new media, which is for us everything from new content delivery to AR and VR. We usually engage as I said, at seed stage with initial checks ranging from 250 to 500K. Well, 80-90% of our new deals are in the United States, but we are also looking for interesting concepts and teams all around the world, but really like the cases when people want to go to the United States where we can add some value.
Okay, so you see guys are doing well, ready to invest, very active in the market, so please consider this. First question to Petr, to you. You mentioned this 40 million fund you launched recently. What's the focus? What are companies are you looking for? Is it only energy tech, or just what kind of technologies you're looking for? What kind of teams?
So actually, initially we had a strong focus on hardware technologies. We did like robotics, energy technology, some oil and gas deals, oil and gas technology. But software component was still very strong. Right now in our fund we have 4 companies in software and 8 companies in hardware. And probably this proportion will remain for the rest of the fund. So right now we have about $20 million of free cash that we're able to invest here in Russia and outside. So you guys are welcome with your proposals. And from the ticket size, I would say we do up to 2 million in one company, but prefer to start with several $100,000 at the initial round.
Is there some kind of market segment specification, or just you're open to any ideas?
So we prefer teams that have global ambitions. In energy tech, we strongly focus on the markets of Middle East, Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America, because the margins are huge, the markets are huge, and there is like pretty low competition for Russian technologies with Russian origin. And we also have office in Valley, about 3 people, and we source mainly US deals there. In US, we focus mainly on strong founders that are able to raise money from top-tier VCs, and we usually join deals, so we do not lead these deals.
Thank you much. You see money is there again. Yeah, pay attention. Kirill, a question to you. Your recent investment in Guest Ready and Improvato. I think safe to say that global revenue is not, Russian-based. And is it the focus of your fund? You're looking for the companies with truly proven kind of revenue stream from outside Russia, or what's the strategy for the nearest future for your fund?
I think if you speak about these 2 deals, both of them quite unique. First of all, Guest Ready is right now leading platform of short-term of management for management of short-term rentals in Europe. So they basically was quite unique in this market. But they're a Swiss-based company, and I think focus here more is about prop tech. Because we see that in property technologies and in property management, there's a lack of technologies and everything is transforming. So I think this is more believe in the team and in the market that is growing, and it's only on the start. And if we speak about Improvato, it's also about, yes, it's one of our key strategies, Russian founders on a global market, and this was Daniil Kravtsov, who successfully raised money after his joined 500 startups and raised his first post-seed round from very well-known investors. And yes, this is we support this company, like I don't know, for last 2.5 years. But previously we invested in his Russian company, so we know him very well. So right now we're trying to also to invest in the teams and in the founders that we already know for several years. So we invested previously. We saw the previous startup that was not very successful. And we believe in this, I don't know, Silicon Valley style or something like this, that if the guy wasn't successful 2 or 3 times, the next time will be much more interesting.
Okay, so if you're an unsuccessful startup who happens to know Kirill, you get the chance here.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Sash, to you the question about your recent investment in your fund, Electronic, what else, Presto, ShopMonkey. All these companies also, I think, drives revenue from outside. Is it consistent with everybody just said that you're also looking for the potential outside Russia? You just pretty much don't believe in companies localized here.
Well, the thing is that if you look at our founders, you can see people of any gender and color there. So we don't care about where the people come from. We care where they want to sell their products. And well, it's obvious that the largest markets are in the United States or Asia. We are accustomed with the US market, and we like stories they target those markets, and that's why we invested in those companies. Electronic comes from Russia. They have Russian founders, but now they're expanding to the United States. Speaking of ShopMonkey, sorry. So they have founders from Armenia, a few software developers sitting in the CIS region. but still this is, well, the US company from the very beginning. And there was a very interesting story of how we actually sourced this deal. Actually, this is like our favorite thing in terms of industry. So as I said, we like vertical SaaS a lot, and one of our most successful stories, well, Service Titan, we were the first institutional investor in this company. Now they're a unicorn. And so these guys from ShopMonkey, they came to Service Titan guys, asked them who were the most reliable investor during your way, who was the earliest investor, and they, well, showed on us. And that's how we met the founders of ShopMonkey and did the deal. And by the way, they just raised Series A from Index Ventures, well, less than a year after we led our seed round. Yep. And speaking of Presta, well, this is a completely US-based story with a founder having origins from India, and this. Well, I don't know what to add.
We just bought it.
Yeah, we really like the story. So this is actually tablets that people place into restaurant tables, where customers can order food, pay for it, and etc. And actually, most funds don't like hardware because hardware is hard unless you're Elon Musk. But we looked at it from the other perspective. Well, this is just a tiny thing of the whole business. It's like an entry point to get into restaurants, and then you can upsell and well, offer much more to restaurants and become their operating system, and this is where it gets interesting.
Thank you very much. And picking up your thought about how the startup found your fund based on your reputation. So the theme of this discussion is how to win the race for the money from VCs, so suggesting startups fighting for the money. Is it fair to say that maybe a situation can be vice versa when startups kind of fighting for the money? And in that case, the focus of the discussion maybe we should switch to how to select the proper fund, the fund you need the most when you're a startup. What are you looking for in that respect, and what the kind of the combination of which factors can give you the most benefit in that area? And in case you have some specific advices, just straight to how to be successful in raising money, that'll be helpful as well. But maybe you can say.
So my advice would be, since you're in Russia, first first go out. But you should know that probably, like being a true Russian startup, it's quite complicated today to raise money from non-Russian VC. But select the fastest one, because guys, you do not have too much choice here in Russia. If we talk about institutional VCs. So the speed of decision making is important. But looking from the other point of view, you should find a VC or investor, maybe corporate investor, maybe angel, that invest in similar stuff. I mean, you should be a good fit to its portfolio. For example, if you look at our portfolio, you will understand that we like strong technology, unique technology. So if you come to us with a consumer internet project, probably you will be rejected. Yes, so you need to know your customer. But again, the speed is very important if you're in Russia.
May I add? Well, Petr covered the analytical part of the choice very well, but I think even more important is emotional thing. So my test here is if I want to go and have some beer with the founder and he wants it as well, then we have an emotional connection. And you know, they say that in the United States, the average length of this relationship between VC and entrepreneur lasts longer than average marriage. So 10 years for this VC entrepreneur and 8 years for marriage. So you should be very picky about your investor, and you must be sure that this is the guy who you will be ready to to share your ups and downs with. And so this is kind of a very important thing to consider as well, and in addition to what Petr told us about.
If adding something to these good points, not speaking only about Russian investors, but like basically about all, the biggest part that we see from the non-Russian startups, that after they speak with us, they ask for introduction to the startups that we already have in our portfolio, or they're doing by themselves. They're just connecting with the guys on LinkedIn or by the, their networks, and they speak about us. And if they if they're confident about us like investor, then they can go to the next round. So I think the homework that you need to do is, if you speak with some investor, you definitely should speak with 2, 3, 5 companies in their portfolio and to understand how good is this. Because yes, the marriage is 8 years in US. I don't know, in Russia of course it's longer, but still with an investor you can be for rest of your life, or it can be investor of your next company. And we already have some teams that we sold already their first company, and we invested in their second company. So this is like a marriage, this is like a friendship. So definitely you need to be very confident about the partner you have, because they will support you, I don't know, in board of directors and decision making and everything.
Picking up on all this and mixing it a little bit, you mentioned that first of all, it's good when the company is a little bit outside Russia, right? So with the revenues or headquarters or something like this. Is it important that you have investment from Russia-linked funds like yours? Will it help the startup, or will it affect in any way that you have Russian investors in a way?
Yeah, so one of our companies recently joined Alchemist Accelerator in San Francisco. And actually, this is one of the top accelerators in the US. And I also talked before they joined, I talked to 8 founders from Russia who also participated in Alchemist. So 80% of money they raised were from Russia. That means that for Russian investors, a Russian founder registration outside is like a low-hanging fruit. I mean, it's very good for Russian investors. For foreign investors, even if if you have presence in the US, it doesn't mean that you will easily raise money there, because you compete with guys from India, from China, and of course from US. Yeah. So actually, probably going to US is the very good strategy to raise money in Russia. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Another point I would like to raise is you all represent very different areas and very different market focus in your investments. At the same time, you're choosing startups somehow. So the question is, are the criteria are the same regardless of market segmentation, regardless of technology? So you, for example, looking for the team, for the good guys, or are there any specifics in terms of choosing startups for specific market segment? Are there specific criteria which startups should consider before trying to raise money from you? Kirill, let's start here.
I think of course there are some specific things when you speak about, I don't know, marketplaces or B2B SaaS or PropTech. There are some, I don't know, differences in the markets, but basically there are several points that you need to be sure in the company if you go deeper. Like first is a team, second is a team, third is a team. And because the team can do anything, make even Improvada a very successful right now US startup, and their valuation raised 10 times before our first investment. But the question right now is why they were successful, because they were very lean and they made the 3 pivots. 3 pivots in 2.5 years. So that's why they're successful, because of the team. So I think first is the team, second is the size of the market, and the third, what we look always is the unit economics. Does it work on even on small scale or not? But everything else, yes, it can be differences, but like it's really going deeper in the very specific things. Like, I don't know, in prop tech, you look very, very carefully at, I don't know, some kind of law restrictions or something like this, because old style businesses or I don't know, industries, they have very a lot of law restrictions. So you definitely need to do these things.
I think this session may be a little bit different in energy, yeah, right? You need to maybe more.
Actually, Alex also knows about it a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will answer. Yeah, so I mean, founders is the most right answer to this question. But if we go into more details, in our segment, in B2B technologies, usually the strategic investors are the best source of exit for us. And actually, the venture business is quite easy. You buy the shares and you sell the shares. So actually, you sell the shares to the strategic investor. And strategic investors usually could buy 3 things. So first, they can buy technology, so IP, it should be strong. Second, it's team acquisition. I mean, all the team, not only the founders, developing, R&D team, and so on. And third, market access. We sold, and if you combine all the 3 components, you get the highest multiple, yeah, for your investment. So in this summer, we sold 3 companies. First, we sold our oil refinery Sanpete startup RRT to KBR. It's a large US major. We sold Coda devices to Tor Labs. It's also a large US major. And we sold our company Geosteering Technologies to Cifra, which is a Russian major in digital industry 4.0. In all cases, it was strong technology and strong team. And in 2 cases out of 3, it was like a combination of 3 parts. So I think this answers your question. I mean, first, technology. Second, team. Third, market access. And you should have presence on different markets because, I mean, only one location is not interesting for majors. So if you have all of the 3, so you make a good deal. Yeah.
I also want to add, if we speak about Russian founders, it's also not very easy to sell to the venture capital some of your idea, because if you work only in Russian market, the size of this market is always overestimated. And because venture capital saw startups like yours like for last 10 years, and he knows all the companies the same as yours that already died. So we know the market share that you can take. So that's why it's not always good to tell that I'm work on in Russian market and I know it very well. Because I have, I don't know, in my email backlog for last 15 years. And I saw the same presentations like for last 10 years. So I know the market share that you can take.
Alex, something to add?
Well, we started with this product-centric approach that Petr described, but over time we gravitated closer to what Kirill was talking about. So we are more team-centric nowadays, and the main notion here is that even the most beautiful technologies can be failed by execution. By founders, by breakups in their teams, and etc., and vice versa. Even not very interesting technologies can be and products can be pivoted along the way to something interesting, and this can grow into a big company and big business. Okay, so makes it pretty obvious pretty much consistent, I think, across the market segment. The team, the market, and readiness to change and to focus on important things. And don't try to fool the venture capitalists. I got the message as well. They know better in a certain way. The thing here is that you need to be transparent with your VC. Never lie to your VC, even if you get your money, but then it turned out that you lied. Then you compromise the relationship and you won't get any help from us or well, or we will think about it.
Continuing this thought, before we switch to Q&A, just a quick question. Yeah. Top mistakes for the startups when you're pitching you. Just the
Sorry, what
top mistakes.
from startups.
Yeah, just the first you have in mind, very quickly. Kirill.
In Russia, it's always speaking about product, not about the market and not about the sales. A lot of concentration about technology, a little bit product, and no sales. This is the biggest mistake.
Hope you're writing it down. Okay.
Well, another one. If you want to secure the first meeting with your VCs, don't make a bombing across all VCs with the same pitch. Try to be strategic. Customize your pitch for a particular VC you are trying to reach out to, and probably it will increase your chances.
Do not ask another VC who do not invest in you to make intro to your next investor.
That's a cool thought. Okay, thank you very much. I think it was kind of interesting views and very open and honest discussion. We have like 5 minutes more for Q&A. So guys, unique chance to ask something from our respectful VCs.
Hi, my name is Ilya, and my question is about the team. You mentioned that you're oftentimes buying the team. So how do you protect yourself from team splits, from team leaving after the acquisition or investment? Maybe pivoting will move some people away from the original team. And how do owners, startup people protect themselves from your involvement in the team decisions?
Well, there are quite standard mechanisms like founders share vesting, option pools and etc. And we do not invent the wheel. We just use those.
So if they don't want, they will just leave. If they are not interested,
So if they're not interested, they're leaving.
Yeah, they leave, but they don't own any shares or a little less than what they should have owned. And we can probably use these shares to motivate another person to come and join.
We have one case when the company that we invested had a brilliant technology and a brilliant idea, but the execution was awful. This was one of our first investment 6 years ago. And right now this company is developing by other guys that were implemented in this company, and they gave them all shares from the old management. And right now this is the most successful content marketing technology in Russian and European market. So the question right now, I think there are a lot of strategic points how you can protect yourself like a team or like investor, but it's always a goodwill. If there is no goodwill in your relations, you can bring a lot of, papers, SHA, term sheets, but this doesn't work if somebody is, making, something that he didn't want.
And as you said, sometimes it's good to have somebody leave in the company, allowing.
But also it's a question. The Russian people do not speak a lot about how they will. They speak a lot how they will marriage and how they will split EBITDA or profits. But they never speak about how they will broke the deal if something will go bad. This is the problem of a lot of startups and a lot of founders right now. I think in Russia especially.
Okay. Any other questions? No, nothing? Okay.
No money, no honey.
Yeah, well, you don't want the money, okay. So, last one from me. What do you think the audience should get from this event? From why they should be here? What they should focus on, except for trying to get the money from you? Is there some specific action list you would advise those who really in this event?
While we are here, come over and secure your first meetings with us, or have another chance to to update us on your traction. I think these are the things that you can do here. and probably be inspired by other startups and successful stories. And maybe, well, it will help you to get, well, a proper attitude in this very challenging process of building your company.
If you want an advice, ask for investment. If you want investment, ask for advice. This is the first thing. And the second thing, I think one of the biggest challenges for Russian people is trying to go to sell something. You know, there is a very old joke that Jewish sell something that costs ruble for 100 rubles, and the Russians sold something that costs 100 rubles for 1 ruble. So first sell something that you don't have, and then come to investor. If you couldn't sell, don't come to investor, because you couldn't sell even your company to him. That's all.
Your advice?
You know, so also this example with Alchemist Accelerator, before starting moving our company there, we like talked to guys who passed the exams and were successful in these accelerators, and I've got that all the startups from Russia are very actively communicating with each other, and they exchange knowledge and they exchange contacts, and they help each other very well, and they become very successful because of it. So I would recommend you not only to try to sell something to investors, because there are only like 10 or less here at this event today, maybe more, but actually I'm based on the panels that I saw. But also communicate with each other, because you can get very good contacts from your peers. Yeah.
Thank you much all. Networking, go global. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.